Phil Wang, and welcome to Unspeakable. This is the show about inventing brand new words, created by three amazing guests. It's a panel show that asks, what's more exciting than words? And the answer, sex, drugs, rock and roll, maybe even folk, actually. But words are pretty close runner-up after that. We'll be meeting our panel shortly, but first, let's welcome my wonderful co-host. She's the conjurer of conjugations, the denizen of declensions. It's Susie Dent!
Hello.
Susie, would you please light the fuse for us with a wordly wonder you've come across recently?
Yes, a Linslös is a Swedish term for the person who cannot pass a camera without having to be in the photo. And its literal meaning is lens louse.
Look, don't blame me if my butt looks good, okay? I just need to get in that picture. A lens louse. A louse of the lens. It is difficult to pass a camera, as I found during my last colonoscopy. Thanks. Okay, now, the challenge is, can our panel come up with any new words as excellent as Linslös? Let's meet them and find out. Joining us for this episode are Sophie Duker, Russell Kane, and Glenn Moore. Sophie. This is interesting about your name. Sophie means wisdom, but then a duker is a fighter. Do you tackle problems with your mind or your fists?
Ooh, I think I have quite violent thoughts. Does that count?
Oh, you combine the two?
Yeah.
Further away. Russell. Now, is it true that you intentionally set out to dramatically increase your vocabulary when you were growing up?
Yeah, because I was the first person to go to university by some miracle. My dad was actively against it. He was like, get a job. He thought a Penguin Classic was a biscuit. So I got to uni and I was behind with my vocabulary, and I thought, how can I learn longer polysyllabic words? So I manually, this isn't a funny story, this is just a biography. I manually built my vocabulary. Every time I encountered a word I didn't know the meaning of, and the first one was impudent in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. And I had all these words and they built up and up and up. I had hundreds of them. And then once came to me naturally in thought or conversation, I discarded the card as having moved in. I was so embarrassed. You know, I burnt those cards. It was like my sort of chavvy shame of having built my intellect manually behind the scenes. I wish I'd kept them. But now and again, I still use a word and I'll be like, that's card number 361.
Glenn, before you were a comedian, you were a journalist and newsreader on the radio. Has a word ever got you in trouble on the air?
Yeah, my own name. Actually, I wasn't expecting this to happen, but years ago, basically, whenever you listen to like the news on the radio, it's quite boring if you just have 3 minutes of a newsreader just talking. So they intersperse it with clips, and so there'd be sort of like, you know, officers are investigating the arson. We spoke to Jan Grimshaw from the Met Police, and then you play the clip. And then there was a story once where I hadn't actually read the script before I went in to read the news, so I was just sight reading, and I didn't entertain the possibility that someone else in the world might have my entire full name. And it was some story about sort of like Anne Barnsley are attempting to break the world record for the largest samba band. It's happening at the Oakwell Stadium on Saturday night. We spoke to the event organiser, Glenn Moore, and then it just played.
Right, let's play Unspeakable. Each of our guests has come armed with a brand new word of their own invention that describes an experience, emotion, object, or sensation that currently has no word to define it, to help cure that all too common feeling when we're quite literally lost for words. And whichever word I deem to be the most useful for humanity will be added to the one true book of books. No, not my food diary. Although I do sometimes have to eat my words. I'm talking about the Unspeakable Dictionary. Oh. They said we don't need a prop because it's radio. I said, shut up, give me a prop. Okay, it's time to hear our first new word, which is coming to us directly from the mind of Russell Kane. Russell, please give us your word, then tell us a brief definition and why you're so keen for it to be created.
Well, I've cheated a bit because it does exist as a word already, so I've repurposed it. I've also cheated a bit because it's not necessarily defining something that we don't have a word for, but I'm using it's something I do actually use. I'm not like comedy invented it for tonight. It's very useful, particularly for kids or if you have to do pre-watershed work or you're a teacher. And that word is Emmanuel. Now, there is a philosopher, the critique of pure reason. If you've not I've read his work, and he's called Emmanuel. And if my wife and I are having a conversation, and so was that person difficult? And she says, yes, a total Emmanuel. We can safely say that in front of our daughter, and I use it a lot. And I'm using it more and more when I switch the news on.
I'm very on board with this. Maybe next time when I stub my tongue and go, Friedrich Nietzsche, God. Susie, what do you think? I mean, it sounds like it's part of a proud tradition of fig leaves.
Yes, there are lots of them. So lots of sidesteps. Going back, centuries, but in the Middle Ages, the big taboos were religious blasphemy. So there were all kinds of sidesteps for those. My favourite, I think, is Gad's Budlikins.
Which was Comedy Store, yeah. 2007's cancelled now.
Gad's Budlikins was God's little body.
Buddy or body?
Body.
Little body. Buddy would be even cuter. Gad's Budlikins. Zoons or Zounds was God's wounds. You had
that's in Shakespeare a lot, that one, isn't it?
Drat for God rot. You had Struth is God's truth.
Oh, that's Aussie, isn't
that's
it?
Aussie now. Yeah. And if you wanted to sidestep the F-bomb, that was to swive. Although that was just a verb in the very literal sense.
So to swive someone was to F
swive someone. Well, yes, he's been out swiving. And then putting body parts in weird places was another thing that they used to do. You had exclamations like, I don't know, bust my gizzard or damn my diaphragm, but you also had dirty cow. This is the worst one, turd in your teeth, which was recorded in a glossary of 1509.
Is that like a worse version of you've got a frog in your throat? Sorry, I've got a turd in my teeth.
Well, there we have it. That's our first word in the show, Emmanuel. I'll be judging whether Emmanuel is the most deserving of a place in the Unspeakable Dictionary at the end of the show, but thanks for bringing it, Russell Kane. We'll be unveiling our panel's second word shortly, but before that, let's look backwards instead. Because here at Unspeakable, we're not just a factory for new words, we are verbal archaeologists too, and we want to dig out some astonishing old words which aren't getting enough action. So Susie, will you please present our regional word of the week?
Yes, this is from Old Staffordshire dialect, and it is, I love to post this one on social media during the summer because it's to bang a bonk. And to bang a bonk, genuinely, is to sit idly on a riverbank and watch the world go by. Isn't that lovely?
You know she just makes all these up.
Wasn't Bang a Bonk the Eurovision winners in the 1973?
That was the song. You're remembering the song.
Sorry. It sounds a bit like an adult version of Whack-A-Mole, though, Bang a Bonk. Now it's time for our second new word of the show, and this one is the creation of Sophie Duker. Sophie, please tell us your word, then give a brief definition and tell us why it matters so much to you.
Okay, so this is a word that I also actually use, and it is Doubtfire. Ooh, yes. Okay, so this word comes from, obviously, the early 90s film Mrs. Doubtfire, in which an adult man and a father of three, to try and get closer to his children, impersonates an elderly British woman. And this is, surprisingly, one of the least problematic films of the 90s. I love Mrs. Doubtfire so much. Everything Robin Williams does in the show should be illegal. He vandalises stuff, he poisons people. But the climax of the film, so he plays someone called Daniel, who is basically an incel that can do accents, and half the time...
Oh, you're spoiling this film.
Sorry. And then he plays Iphigenia Doubtfire, who is this elderly woman. In the last scene of the film, he has to be both at a birthday dinner and to impress his new boss. So he's being both Daniel and Iphigenia, and Doubtfire is my verb for trying to be in two places at once.
Excellent. Very good. Excellent.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, guys, I'm back from the Sarah Cox show. What have I missed?
Susie, could you please put on your best Scottish accent and tell us about Doubtfire?
I was not in the dictionary, so you're on to something there, for sure. I love it. I think it's really good. I'm going to get very nerdy now, though, because I'm going to talk about silent letters. You know, the silent B, in doubt. It was put there by some randomer during the Renaissance who wanted to restore English to its kind of classical beauty. So they knew that there was a B in the Latin dubitum, and they stuck one in the Old English doubt, which was spelt D-O-W-T, which is perfect, and we never pronounced it, ever. Likewise, there's a story about the H in ghost that was never there in Old English until a typesetter who worked for William Caxton, who set up the printing press, was Flemish speaking. He was Flemish. And he saw the Old English ghost, G-O-S-T, and thought, that doesn't look right, because his native Flemish was geest with an H. So he lobbed one into our word one rainy afternoon, and it's stayed there ever since.
Coming over here, putting H's in our word.
Exactly right.
Unbelievable.
But anyway, I just used Doubtfire as an excuse, but I love it. I think it's really clever.
Russell and Glenn, you're busy people. You ever find yourself doubtfiring?
I had this at a gig years ago where I realised I double booked myself on like the other side of London. I had 2 gigs, one on one side of London, one on the other, and they were pretty much like identical stage times. And I thought I'll choose which gig to go to first, and then I'll just let the other one know because they're a bit more reasonable that I'm going to be a bit late. And it reached a stage where I was on stage at the first gig, and I said to the audience, "Can you all be quiet if I receive a phone call?" Because it's going to be them asking where I am, and I'm just going to say I'm 5 minutes away, when in reality I'm 20 minutes away. And sure enough, I got a phone call halfway through and the audience all shushed. And I went, "Hello, I'm 5 minutes away." And someone in the crowd just went, "No, he's not."
Okay, well, that's our second word of the show. Will Doubtfire be the word to win a place in the Unspeakable dictionary? Judgment will be served soon. But for now, thanks for bringing it, Sophie Duker. Now we've reached a point in the show where we get to become linguistic lawmakers, because as well as bringing their new inventions, each panelist has the chance to offer up a word that they think has been getting away with murder and banish it to the word jail. Glenn, let's start with you. What word would you like to get rid of forever?
Glen.
Yeah,
I hate it. Glen is in the noun, Glen is in the valley. Glen with one N. I hate it. It's weak. I hate the fact that it's got one N. It influences how people spell my name. I hate my name anyway. I have such a rural ass name in being called Glenn Moore. My name is just Field. I hate that even if you get rid of it, the rest of my name is Glenn Roger Moore, which is even worse. Because my dad is called Roger Moore and didn't have the decency to be the Roger Moore, so I'm not even a Nepo baby. Glens in general are always the worst people in fiction. I hate every Glenn in Glenn Goulia is the bad fiance in The Wedding Singer. Glenn Quagmire in Family Guy is a creep. Every time people say to me, "Oh, have you seen that new TV show? There's a main character called Glenn." And I'll be like, "Is he cool?" And they'll be like, "I don't know. All I know is it was filmed in one shot and Stephen Graham's his dad." And it's like, "Oh, no. It is such a bane on my life, and no one knows how to spell it. People spell it with one N, people spell it with 3 N's. I remember one of my earliest sort of traumatic ones is my parents at like half term once booking me into some day out at some library when I was like 5 years old, and all the kids were being given name tags, and the woman running it gave me a name tag that was just so comically misspelt my name, and I tried to question it, and I've never heard anyone say this. This is such a Roald Dahl character thing to say, but I said, I think you've spelt my name wrong, and she went, "Must you be so wicked?" And so for the rest of the day, I had to wear a name tag that said Len.
Susie, what can you tell us about Glenn? The word, the name.
I don't like him.
Well, Glen, yes, narrow valley. They can be lush, they can be green, they can be U-shaped. But my favourite Glen, apart from Glen Campbell, is a Glen Willy, which in the meaning of liff is a small tartan pouch worn below the kilt during a thistle harvest. Yes.
So like a sporran but under.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
And very well protected.
I thought Glenn was short for Glyneth, like Gwyneth Paltrow. Is that not
No, it's actually short for Glenyamin Netanyahu.
Sophie, what word do you want to lock up and be rid of?
My word jail word is trendy. I detest this word. I think it's the only word that if you get called it, it means you are definitely not it. It's just always it's always said like trendy. It's always like, I think it's either really misguided or it's a neg. I think it's like a boomer word that originated in the 60s. And I love boomers. I don't want to insult boomers. My future ex-husband is probably a boomer. I feel like trendy is very much in the field of like groovy and hip, and I just don't think, I don't think elder boomers know about hips, unless they're getting them replaced.
Yeah, exactly. Susie, how trendy is trendy?
Well, trend goes back to the 17th century, and it was the direction of a course that a stream or a mountain or a glen might...
Sorry, Glenn, so sorry. Sorry.
And then trendy came about in the 1960s. And again, it was the turn of events, a fashionable turn of events. But what's quite interesting these days is we're no longer tending towards things, we are trending towards them, thanks to social media. So we're trending in different ways now. And that's what we call an eggcorn. Remember those? Those kind of slips of the ear where we think we're hearing something, but we have actually got it slightly wrong. And my favourite examples of recent times are It's a Doggy Dog World. He was lagging behind from the gecko. And genuinely, someone told me this 2 days ago, where she was at a business meeting and someone called her the head poncho.
Well, that's just a hat, isn't it? A head poncho?
That too.
Yeah. So people are now saying trending towards, they're tending towards.
Yeah.
But that's accidentally returning trending to its old
Exactly right, yeah.
form.
Yeah, good point.
Correct by accident. Russell, which word are you sending to the dictionary dungeon?
I'd like to get rid of breath work. Do you mean breathing, you bellend? I'm sick of people online telling me they've invented breathing. You haven't invented breathing. When the first fish crawled out into the primordial sludge and became a lungfish and gasped its first bit of oxygen, that was the invention of breath work. Shut up, you Danish king. And by that, I mean Canute. Not a fig leaf for you.
Yeah, you meant to say Emmanuel, actually, not Canute. They're now breathwork classes. They've become a bit trendy, sorry, Sophie, but you can go to breathwork. A friend said, Phil, do you want to go to a breathwork class, learn how to breathe? I was like, I think I got it.
It's like in symbiosis with words that we really need that suddenly we can't use. So there's a play date at my house the other day, and one of the younger kids jumped up on the side where there was a knife, and all I said was, no, I'm not inventing this. The parent took me aside and went, we don't actually use the word no with Olivia because we pause and explain. We find the word no problematic because it closes down context. We prefer an explanation. Well, let's try that, shall we? You see that car coming up? Dead.
The annoying thing about the word breathwork is it's made me manually think about breathing now. So now
Yes,
I'm having
me
to
too.
manually breathe, and now I'm blinking manually as well. And that's how they get you. Now I've got to sign up.
That's so true.
Susie, would you mind doing some of your actual work and tell us your thoughts on breathwork?
Well, breathwork first appeared in 1972.
No.
Yeah, that's the
Really?
first record. That's still
I'm
pretty
shocked.
recent.
Hippie times, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
breathworks.
expecting it to be 1670 something, but yeah,
right.
that to me is quite recent.
Emerged from a thatch somewhere in the 70s.
Breathing is indeed ancient, and it's rippled through language for centuries. So in Latin, to breathe was spirare, and that gave us to inspire, which is to breathe life into something. It gave us perspire, when we breathe through our skin, expire, when we breathe our last, suspire, which is beautiful, which is to let out a deep sigh, and my favourite is to conspire, because lots of conspirators huddle together and breathe together. So, yeah, it's pretty important in language. So breathwork, I'm sorry, Russell, is actually pretty crucial
I think we should
to a
kill
lot of
Phil.
English.
Let's open this out and see if our studio audience have any words that they'd like to bang up in the brig. Dara.
Hello.
I only know two Daras in my life, Dara O'Brien and you. Two very different Daras. Dara, what word would you like to get rid of?
Okay, so I would like to get rid of the word gusset. Partially just because I hate all words that have like guh. Like I hate the word grubby. I just think it's so visceral and like evokes a really like disgusting reaction in me. But secondly, because when I was a teenager, I used to wear really short skirts, and that was my one act of rebellion. And usually you could see the gusset area of my tights in the short skirts. And looking back, that was actually pretty unattractive. But my parents
Dara
would
O'Brien did the same thing too.
But my parents would always be like, Dara, you're not going out like that. You can see your gusset. And I would always be like, shut up, Mum. So like, and then they clocked on the fact that I hated it so much. And then they would always be like, gusset. Grubby gusset. You can see your grubby gusset, and it drove me mad. So yeah.
Effective parenting, though. Horrible parenting, but effective by the sounds of it.
Can I just tell you what the dictionary says? A gusset was originally a shell for nuts, so it was a protective case. It's that idea of strengthening and protective. But here in 16th century, a piece of material let into a garment to strengthen some of it, such as the crotch of an undergarment or the collar of a shirt. And the scent of gusset was the smell of the armpits. I'm so sorry. But,
that wasn't as bad as we were expecting.
pretty bad.
Wow.
Pretty bad.
I think there's a lot of agreement there, Dara. Thank you very much. Gusset's gone. Now it's time to uncover our third contender for the Unspeakable Dictionary. And this one is the invention of Glenn Moore. Glenn, please give us your word, then tell us what it means and why it matters to you.
John Dolances. This is when you express sympathies for someone's loss, but you genuinely have no idea who they're talking about. So, for instance, in your village I've never heard of, the vicar's passed away, my deepest John Dolances, and it's led to the cancellation of the church fete, my deepest Tom Dolances. I've gone with the US spelling as opposed to the UK spelling, which is Joe Blogslances, but that is my word.
That's very handy. I mean, it happens to me all the time, you know. I'm sorry to hear that, Mum. No idea who this Nan person is, but I'm very sorry for you. Susie, it feels like Glenn might have found a gap here.
Yeah.
What do you think about John Dolances?
I think so, yeah. So John Doe, as we said, US term for any generic male individual or a corpse. But John Doe was the successor to Richard Roe, who was around in the 16th century. No idea why. Perhaps he was a dick. But there are lots of names in the dictionary, lots and lots of names where sometimes they do go back to a single individual and sometimes they don't. So Jack the Lad was a real Jack the Lad. He was called Jack Shepherd and he was a notorious crook and he became a folk hero. But then we've got Flipping Ada and Flaming Nora and Billy No Mates and Tom, Dick and Harry, and no one quite knows why. So I'm fascinated by names in the dictionary.
I feel bad for anyone actually called John Doe. It must make applying for a passport impossible.
Yeah, true.
I looked this up. It's interesting. All over the world, there are different anonymous names. In China, it's Wu Ming Shi, which is Mr. or Mrs. No Name. Ah. Yeah. Even unknown women have to take the husband's name. It's a very traditional society. In Italy, it's Mario Rossi. Oh. It's me. No one knows.
Sounds like a defender for Juventus. I've heard that name before. I had this with a friend about 12 years ago. It came to mind because it was the first time this happened to me. And a friend of mine was talking about how their Christmas had been, and they were sort of like, well, it was difficult because... And what I didn't realise was they were talking about the death of a pet bird. And this wasn't clear because the name of the bird was Frank. And that's not a bird's name. That's like a 75-year-old man's name. And she went, yeah, it was difficult, obviously, with Frank dying and everything. And I was like, oh, man, I can't imagine. I'm so sorry. And I was like, what? And she went, yeah, he was just, he was eaten by a fox. And it was like, what? Well, he was been like 6'2". What are you talking about?
So there we have Glenn's choice for a brand new word, John Dolances. I love that. It's a great word, Glenn, and if it doesn't win tonight, you have my deepest sympathies. Now we have all three words from our panel. Emmanuel from Russell Kane, Doubtfire from Sophie Duker, and John Dolances from Glenn Moore. It's a terrific trio, but only one of these can emerge victorious and reach the nirvana of the Unspeakable Dictionary. I am the Sheriff of Wangingham, and the power to decide is mine. And I decree that our winner is... Oh, it's very close, but I'm going to give it to John Dolances. Congratulations, Glenn Roger Moore. But before we go, we've got just enough time to see if our studio audience have any suggestions that they'd put in the Unspeakable Dictionary. Sam from Essex. Hi, Sam.
My word is Sloppenheimer.
What's Sloppenheimer?
It's an artist or a creative who looks back on the slop they've created and they think, what have I done?
Right, like AI, AI slop.
Great
and
example.
What do you do, Sam? May I ask?
I'm a teacher.
You're a teacher. Okay. You ever the slop apply to any of the sort of poems the kids come up with, or any of the essays?
I think the kids, they produce quite a lot of slop. Yeah, I think they should have a bit more shame, I think.
Yeah, it could be a
lot of
film that's
people.
an hour and a half too long as well.
Thank you, Sam, for Sloppenheimer. I love Sloppenheimer. Next up, we have Stuart from Birmingham.
Hi.
Hi, Stuart. What is your new word?
The word is poomies.
How are you spelling poomies?
P-O-O-M-I-E-S.
And what does it mean?
So we've heard of zoomies.
Yeah.
We've cats.
Yeah.
So I'm a proud parent of 2 cats.
Oh, yeah?
One of my cats is called Gizmo.
That's sweet.
Aw.
And Gizmo, when she does dirt, she runs out of the litter box and does a victory lap,
Yeah, I've seen that.
saying, "You never guess what I've done here. This is the best dirt ever." And that's what we call the poomies.
Poomies, I love that.
Susie, can you give us a final dictionary dessert for this episode?
I can, though. This one might take away your appetite. So we started off with Swedish. I thought I would finish with some Finnish and an old Finnish measurement, which is about 5 miles, and the word is poronkusuma. And poronkusuma is essentially the distance that a native animal can travel without needing to take a break, and it translates literally as reindeer pee. Which is lovely. And it is joined by sian perima, excuse my pronunciation, which is the Finnish for the distance a pig can fart, which is roughly 1 to 2 feet.
What are they measuring there?
I have no idea. Wind speed, I don't
I find
know.
farts quite difficult to visualise.
In Malay, there is pisan zapra, which is the time needed to eat a banana, which has been measured apparently at approximately 2 minutes.
2 minutes seems like a long time to eat a banana to
Yeah.
me, but
It's almost seductive speed almost.
well, the amount of time before I need to pee is roughly the length of a Radio 4 panel show, so let's wrap this up. Thank you very much to Susie Dent and to our guests Sophie Duker, Russell Kane and Glenn Moore. I'm Phil Wang and this has been Unspeakable. Goodbye! Unspeakable was presented by Phil Wang and Susie Dent, with guests Sophie Duker, Russell Kane and Glenn Moore. It was devised by Joe Varley, additional material was written by Matthew Crosby and Katie Story, and the producer was John Harvey. It's a Brown Bread production for BBC Radio 4.